Ready for business. And as was mentioned, it is looking at the readiness of business to adopt a lot more blockchain technology in its processes across sectors, from health to finance, payments, and agriculture. So right now we're going to get a perspective of a business that has done that essentially. Many of you would be aware that Pick n Pay did start introducing crypto or some form of crypto payments within its organization last year. And so our next speaker is going to be speaking to us a little bit about that, about Pick n Pay and its crypto payments. And he's already here, which is fantastic. So you don't have to wait too long for him to come up on stage. But as you can see his profile, his name is Carel van Wyk. For those of you who don't know him, founder of CryptoConvert. And Carl, take it away.
Thank you, Fifi. Yes, as Fifi said, my name is Carel van Wyk. I am the founder of CryptoConvert. I am an engineer and a total introvert, so this is not intimidating at all. So we're talking about a project that we worked on recently. For those of you that don't know, Pick n Pay is the second largest retailer in South Africa and maybe in Africa. And they recently announced a crypto payments pilot where you can pay with crypto at the point of sale. This was in November 2022, so last year. They opened it at 39 pilot stores, and it has since been expanded as of last month, February, to all stores, including Pick n Pay Clothing, Pick n Pay Express at the filling stations. Over 1,600 stores now accept crypto payments directly at the till. Now, since we made this announcement, the number one question that everybody is asking me is, how the hell did you convince Pick n Pay to do this, right? So I'm here to tell you my secret. I didn't. Okay. This was thank you. This was an initiative by Pick n Pay. And what I'm going to run through today is the internal drivers or motivators behind this project. Running through 3 topics: the internal drivers from Pick n Pay's side, or the motivation why they ran this project. We're going to talk about our solution and how we solve the problem. And then I'll venture into the future of crypto payments in South Africa. Cool. So let's start with Pick n Pay. Most people, when they think of Pick n Pay, think grocery store, right? But Pick n Pay actually runs a very successful financial services business as well. Now, if you look at this picture, right, you can see there's a lot of stuff going on. There's bill payments, money transfer. If you look closely, you can see airplane tickets, and there's bus tickets that you can buy, and there's a whole range of products that they offer that you can actually pay for at the till, right? And one of the biggest cost points still remains payments. So they're always looking for alternative payment options. Okay, so this is the business driver for Pick n Pay. Their business driver is about being customer-centric. It's about offering options or choice to their shoppers and not telling them how they should be paying. And it's about remaining ahead of the curve, because there is a curve. So you can fact check me on this, but as far as I understand, Pick n Pay is the first major retailer to do debit card payments. I think they're also the first retailer to do tap and go, or tap to pay. They were the first to do cash at till, and now they're the first major African retailer in the world, or in Africa, to accept crypto payments at the point of sale. Another driver is their tech innovation strategy. Pick n Pay has invested a ton of money into their tech stack to make it easy to add more value-added services and new payment methods. And I can vouch for this because our project with them was really actually pretty straightforward. It was a lot of fun working with them. And if you look at this picture, this is actually a photo from 2017. So Pick n Pay has been looking at crypto payments for a long time. This is the first pilot project that ran in 2017. This was, if you recall, at the hype of kind of the block size wars and the scaling debate. And as the executive was testing this proof of concept, He bought a 100 Rand basket and he paid 150 Rand in blockchain fees, right? So he just immediately said, no, we're not continuing with this. Jump to 2022, payments technology in the crypto space has been evolving, and Pick n Pay approached me again and said, can we try this? Can we try this again? And I said, yeah, I think this time it can work. So I want to talk about our solution and the specific technology that we used. But just to mention that crypto is still perceived as complicated and risky. And if you're sitting here today, you know this is true. And it is true. The technology is scary, and if you don't understand what you're doing, you can get into trouble. And there's a lot of other factors that also complicate things, like volatility risk, legal and compliance requirements. It's still a little bit uncertain and still being developed. So what is our value add? Our value add as a company is to make this safe and simple for merchants to accept crypto payments. In terms of technical complexity, we are experts in this space. Okay, I've built production Bitcoin payment systems. I don't know if you recall, but you used to be able to buy stuff on Takealot with Bitcoin. So we had 30,000 merchants integrated at PayFast, Bid or Buy, whatever. And the same, it ran into the same kind of issues, on-chain payments. It's expensive and sometimes it's slow. Didn't work really well. So I'll talk about how we solved all of that. And then, of course, volatility risk. So we abstract that away. If you're a merchant and you're selling an item for 100 Rand, that's our promise to you is you're getting 100 Rand, right? You don't have to care about the price of the market going up and down. We have our own internal models and processes to manage that. Don't have to worry about it. And then legal and compliance requirements, that's what we do on a day-to-day basis. We engage with legal experts, with lawyers, with banking partners, with the regulators. I actually had a call with the head of the national payment system, Tim Masela, end of last month. So we're like talking to people to promote this specific use case of crypto, which is crypto payments. Because this is not the way that most regulators perceive crypto, as Chris mentioned earlier. So oh yes, the photo here, just to give a little bit of context. This is a girl buying a single hamburger bun at Pick n Pay with Bitcoin. And if you notice a T-shirt, there's a little Bitcoin logo on it, and it says Bitcoin Ikasi. So I'm gonna be talking about that in a little bit. But the point I'm trying to make with this photo is that even though, yes, crypto is complicated and risky, we make it so safe and simple that even this girl can buy a hamburger bun. Okay, so on that topic of regulation, this is a quote from the Reserve Bank of last year. They said, "We are not intent on regulating crypto as a currency, as you can't really walk into a shop and use it to buy something. Instead, our view has changed to regulating it as a financial asset." Now, as you all know, in the blockchain space, things move really, really fast. So this was true maybe in July 2022. There weren't many places where you could walk in and pay with Bitcoin. But by November 2022, you could go into 39 Pick n Pays, and by February this year, you can go into any Pick n Pay. So it's no longer true, right? The playing field is changing. And so I don't want to criticize the Reserve Bank for saying this, because the truth is most people, maybe like 90%, 99% of people engage with crypto as a risky asset. They see it as a way to invest or make money. And the truth there is that maybe 90% of crypto is a scam, right? How many people have been scammed by the likes of MTI, MMI, who remembers Kippy, all of that nonsense? And there will be more scams in this crypto space in the future. So it's important for regulators to step in and look at that problem and take care of it. But it's not okay that they ignore the payments use case, because what we're seeing, our own data is showing this, payments adoption is growing, and it's something that needs to be considered. Okay, I'm going to jump to our solution and the technology that we're using. So we're using something called the Lightning Network. I know it's like relatively new, but just like a brief intro to that. Lightning is a payment system built on top of Bitcoin. So why did we pick this? Well, Bitcoin is the oldest, biggest, strongest, most popular cryptocurrency that exists today, right? And the Lightning Network adds a layer on top of Bitcoin. It's actually what they call an off-chain solution. I'll talk about that in a bit. And that enables very cheap and very fast payments on top of Bitcoin. So you've probably heard this. People say, well, we can't use Bitcoin for payments because it can do maximum 7 transactions per second. Okay, that's not wrong. If you think about a blockchain is a very expensive thing to run. And if you submit data onto the chain, it's expensive. And that's why it can be slow. So that's true. But to give you an idea, like our own solution, we do 1 blockchain transaction, 1 Bitcoin transaction today. Because what Lightning does is it aggregates thousands or maybe tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of transactions into a single on-chain Bitcoin transaction. So we can leverage that aggregation and we get something that does payments very, very cheaply and very, very quickly. To me, that's the main benefit of Lightning, is that it is super fast. I promise you, if you go and try this at Pick n Pay, you'll find that it's faster even than tap to pay. It's instant. You tap the button to send your payment, and that till slip prints out. It's like magic. So, oh yes, in addition to all of this, the payment protocol is pretty powerful, and it gives a lot of control to the merchant. So in the past, one problem with an on-chain transaction is you give the receive address and amount, and then the person paying, what happens after that is up to them, right? They can pay you tomorrow. They can pay the wrong amount, and then you've got a problem because you need to return the funds to them somehow. Lightning makes all of this way, way easier. So firstly, you can add a transaction timeout, a validity period, and then you can also accept a payment, and as the merchant can decide whether you'll return it to the sender or settle it to your own account. That's very powerful because let's say, for example, you're issuing an airtime voucher and there's an upstream problem. So you can't issue the voucher, but you've already received the payment. With an on-chain payment, you'd have to ask the sender for their refund address. It's a lot of hassle. With Lightning, you just say cancel transaction and the funds basically never leave or they get returned to the sender's wallet. So in my view, this is the most suitable solution for rapid payments. And like, imagine you're standing at the till, there's a queue of 5 people with full shopping trolleys behind you. You don't want to be held up, right? So speed matters. Okay, so there is a bit of a drawback to Lightning, right? Adoption is still pretty low. There's a representative of Bitrefill sitting here today, and he can give you a great insight into that. Lightning adoption is still kind of in the early stages. We don't have major exchanges in South Africa that support Lightning payments yet, even though internationally there's pretty big exchanges supporting it. And Zapo, being a sponsor of this event, I think it's worth noting that they recently added Lightning support to their product. The network capacity has been growing. So the network is specific capacity. It means the number of transactions we can, or the volume of transactions we can send over. It's growing in Bitcoin terms, and in dollar terms, obviously, it's kind of volatile, just like the Bitcoin price, but it is constantly rising. And we, like I said, we see this in our own data. We see a growing number of people using this to make payments. There's another downside, unfortunately, due to the capacity, and that is the maximum transaction size. So we're talking about a transaction where if you go over 10,000 Rand, it becomes a little bit less reliable. So that might be a downside if you're trying to buy a car, but it's actually a big plus if you're trying this out the first time, because transaction sizes being naturally limited means a lot of risk is mitigated, right? So what this is really, really well suited for is grocery payments, like at Pick n Pay, and micro payments. So that girl buying a single bun spent a couple of rands, and that worked flawlessly. Okay, I'm going to just talk about exactly what this looks like to a consumer. And admittedly, it's still a little bit awkward, but I'm going to explain how this evolves into the future and how it becomes better. So we had to decide how this actually looks at the point of sale, right? So we could add Lightning payments at the point of sale, but then you have to train thousands and thousands of staff all over the country to understand what the hell's going on there. So instead, we looked at the existing system that they have, and they've got an existing contactless QR payment option at the point of sale that supports Masterpass and other bank payment, QR payment options. And we said, let's use what they have. So this is a non-crypto QR. And then what we do is we introduce a QR scanner. So we built a QR scanner, and this understands the QR code displayed by the point of sale, and it translates it into a crypto payment or crypto payment information. We don't offer a wallet service, we don't keep custody of funds, but what we do is, once you've scanned that QR code, your device will automatically open up your preferred wallet. So that could be, there's a couple of examples, Moon, Strike, and it could potentially also be Zappo. But the point is that once it may be setting it up is a little bit of effort, but once it's set up, it's pretty seamless and it works really well. You just scan the QR code and it immediately pops up your Lightning wallet, and all you have to do is click send, complete the payment. Of course, Lightning, as I said, is not yet supported by the major exchanges in South Africa. So you still need then a third wallet or account at an exchange where you'd probably buy Bitcoin. You transfer that into your Lightning wallet and then use the QR scanner app. So that's 3 apps. Okay, it's a bit awkward. But what does the future look like? Okay, firstly, perhaps Pick n Pay builds the QR scanner into their app. Okay, that's an easy win. Perhaps Valor or Luno adds Lightning payments, then that's 1 down. Or maybe somebody like Zappo that already has Lightning payments just adds the QR scanner ability, and then you just have a single app. So, like I said, a bit clunky at the moment, but it's just a start, and I think this will become more and more streamlined as time goes along. So, yeah, as I said, the major advantage of this is there's no training required to the cashiers. They understand exactly, you just have to tell them, give me a contactless QR, and then you can complete the payment. All right, that's all I'm going to say about our solution. I'm jumping to the future. What does the future of crypto payments look like in South Africa? So what I can tell you from what we've learned is that there's generally like 2 types of people using our solution right now. The one is somebody that already has crypto and they want to spend it for whatever reason. Maybe they've bought some long ago and now they want to use it to buy stuff, or they just really believe in crypto, so they're buying crypto so they can spend it. And then there's a second type of user that to me is really, really interesting. And I'll introduce that type of user by talking about a non-profit initiative in Mossel Bay called Bitcoin Ikazi. So Bitcoin Ikazi has a project called the Surfer Kids. What they do is they employ surfing coaches from the local community in Mossel Bay, and then they provide a constructive and positive environment for kids where they can learn surfing and learn life skills. And what they've realized is that they saw an initiative that was a similar initiative done in El Salvador. Some of you might know this, that El Salvador adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender, I think about 2 years ago. But the project that led to that is called the Bitcoin Beach in El Salvador. And I think it's essentially just people feeling passionate about crypto that said, we're going to sign up a whole bunch of shops next to the beachfront. They'll all accept Bitcoin, and this will encourage international tourism for Bitcoiners all over the world to come and visit and spend their Bitcoin. And the Bitcoin Ikazi project is roughly modeled on the same thing. And in fact, I was there when the founder of Bitcoin Beach visited them. They're receiving people from all over the world, from India and all over in Africa, that's going to Mossel Bay to spend Bitcoin, get a haircut, go to a spaza shop, buy some Amazi. And now these merchants and vendors have Bitcoin, so what do they do with it? Now when we did the initial pilot in November, we told Pick n Pay, we can do this on one condition. You have to enable the Pick n Pay in Mossel Bay. So this made them very, very happy, because now the vendors can accept Bitcoin directly. They don't have to convert it into rands, and they can go to Pick n Pay and restock. And the project itself can go to Pick n Pay, buy food for the kids and stationery and whatever else they need. Okay, that's my talk. I'm going to just leave you with an opinion that I have, okay? People seem to still be waiting for the killer app of distributed ledger technology. Okay, I'm here to tell you my view is that electronic payments or crypto payments is the killer app. I mean, if you think about it, crypto payments enables markets, it enables membership. So if we're talking about governance and all of that, and if we're talking about Web3, which is the read, write, own web, how do you think people are going to be owning stuff? Are they going to pay with credit cards? Or is it going to be crypto payments? That's my view. Crypto payments is the killer app. It's been right in front of you all along. Okay. If you want to reach out to us, you can email info@cryptoconvert.co.za. If you go on our Twitter profile, CryptoConverted, you'll see videos that we retweet of people that's actually using the solution. They go to the Pick and Pay. They're so excited about this. They're making videos, and they post it online, and we retweet it so it gets more reach. So if you make a video, we'll do that for you as well. Yeah, I'll be around. Now, I think it's time for the networking event opportunity anyway, so I'll be around after this talk. Thank you for your time.